Did you know there are ways you can increase your chances of succeeding in court with simple body language? Here is my list of secret tips for using body language to win in court that work regardless of whether you are a party to the case, an attorney, a witness, a private investigator, or any other expert or material witness. A big thing that most people do not realize is that approximately 70% of all communication that we do is called non-verbal communication. 70%. And when people are tied to a chair, sitting in a meeting, a coffee shop, or the courtroom, that non-verbal communication is even easier for everyone to notice. Let's first discuss what you wear into court. Most people know you must dress professionally, but what does that mean? For guys, this means a suit and a tie. And if you don't have a suit and tie, wear a long sleeve, button-up collared shirt with nice slacks and clean, polished shoes. For gals, a pantsuit or skirt suit is fine with a conservative blouse and closed-toed shoes. But the clothing style is not the only thing to pay attention to. You must be aware of what jewelry and other accessories you wear. Limit jewelry to, let's say, a wedding band, small earrings, and a simple watch. Avoid flashy or large jewelry pieces or other accessories that make you stand out. The courtroom is not a fashion show, and making fashion statements in court is often taken negatively by the judge and jury. You also need to be aware of the colors you wear. Most people never give this a second thought, but it does make a considerable difference in how people perceive you. Red is not a good color to wear as it often displays anger or aggression in the person wearing it. Neutral or soft colors like navy blue, black, and dark gray and subtle patterns are best. The goal is to ensure that the judge and jury focus on your professionalism, not being distracted by what you are wearing. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. Remember this too. When you are in court, you are under the microscope. Every move you make will be observed and scrutinized regardless of where you sit. If you are on the witness stand, obviously all eyes are on you. But if you are a party to the case, an expert witness sitting with the attorney, or taking any part of the hearing, everyone will also be watching you. Here is a quick trick to help you during the hearing and to help display professionalism and ensure no one thinks you're disinterested. Take notes. That is right. Take notes. Lots of notes. First, you may need to reference those notes later to help jog your memory. Second, it keeps you occupied, which displays interest in what is happening. It displays a lack of interest if you just sit there staring off into space, playing with your water, your pen, whatever, and this sends the wrong message to the jury, to be sure. Regardless of why you are there, if you are the plaintiff, the defendant, an expert witness, a private investigator, or whoever you are, you should be fully engaged, listening and observing what is happening. Here is another lesser-known fact when it comes to criminal and civil matters involving defendants' behaviors. Most jurors will conclude that a less interested defendant is more likely to be guilty in most cases. Taking simple notes and staying focused can go a long way toward overcoming these misconceptions. A good rule of thumb for your note-taking is to just jot down quick summaries of what each witness and attorney says. This will help you remember later and give you talking points with your attorney when they ask if you have anything to say about what has been presented. Most attorneys will take a brief moment after talking with any witness to ask their client, expert witnesses, investigators, or legal aides if they noticed anything incorrect in the witness's statements or needed further clarification. When they do this, you will have your notes to refer back to. Now, this is another thing that we should discuss. How should you communicate with your attorney in court? If you need to tell the attorney something about what a witness said or anything else occurring in the courtroom, do not try to talk to your attorney. Do not whisper in their ear. Do not tap them on the shoulder. Do not try to speak directly to them or over witnesses, attorneys, the judge, or anyone else who is talking. You have to remember, your attorney is always busy, intently listening and observing everything happening in the proceeding. If you need to tell the attorney something, pass him or her a note. Trying to talk to the attorney could force him to miss something important. disrupt the court proceedings, or even worse, the other side could hear you. So if a witness is saying something contrary to what happened, like the traffic light was red and the defendant came blasting through the intersection at 100 miles per hour, but in actuality you had just started going through the green light after you were stopped at the red light, then you got broadsided, then that note might say something like, I was stopped at the red light, then started through the intersection after it turned green, then I got hit. I would also recommend preparing these notes as the proceedings are taking place so that you can just slip the attorney those notes when your attorney asks you if anything else needs to be added or addressed. Again, you do not want the other side, the jury, or anyone else to hear you discussing things with your attorney. Also, the fact that you have prepared notes and questions displays confidence and professionalism on your part. Another big body language thing to do is to make sure you are sitting up straight. No slouching, laying across the desk, but in an upright and attentive position. This again displays confidence, honesty, and strength. Being slumped over and looking disinterested can give the impression that you have already given up and, well, must be guilty. Here is a tough one for a lot of people to understand. When you are in court, don't be reactionary to what is happening. If a witness is lying on the stand and you start fidgeting, you start getting mad, and you start writing down notes in a chaotic and a furious manner, you will give away the fact that your side will be objecting to or arguing against that witness's statements. I understand our natural reaction to someone outright lying is to get defensive, but I have often heard it said that the best defense is a good offense, which goes for the battles in the courtroom too. Maintaining your cool, no loud gasps, no head shaking, no looks of disbelief or disgust goes a long way, making the other side think everything is hunky-dory. Just take some quick notes, pass them on to the attorney when the time comes so they can cross-examine them properly and get the truth out. This will allow you to be proactive rather than reactive in these challenging situations, and being proactive truly does display much more better than reactive actions. You see, the judge and jury will also see those reactions, and often things like clenched teeth, scowls, and violent shaking of the head will display anger, and that display of rage often gets misinterpreted in the courtroom. The best way to prepare for something like this is to, as each witness takes a stand, imagine them telling the most vicious and vulgar things about you they possibly could. All the while making sure you sit quietly, breathing normally with a notepad and pen handy. This will help you be more mentally prepared for when and if it does happen. Court is ugly, folks. People will say horrible things about others. They state facts based on how they interpret them, not always as they were, and lies and untruths just happen. Make sure throughout the hearing you make eye contact with whoever is talking. Not creepy, mad eye contact, but just normal, regular, attentive eye contact. Again, this shows interest in what they're saying, but allows you to focus on what they're saying too, allowing you to take proper notes. Be aware of your breathing at all times. It is easy to start getting worked up, get nervous, angry, you name it. Every emotion will come into play in the courtroom, so work on maintaining normal breathing. Keep a smile on your face as well. You don't have to sit there with a big smile the entire time, but a casual smile goes a long way in body language. But make sure that smile is not that used car salesman smile, you know, that fake smile that says, buy this or else. I also always clear my voice a little before I speak, whether on the stand, speaking to the attorney, or whenever, to ensure I can find my voice without any awkward moments. I always get a dry mouth in court, so I like to have water close by. I clear my throat a little and take a moment to think about what I'm about to say. If I am on the stand, I will also, when appropriate, talk with my hands. Not mad or crazy, arms a flailing about, talking with my hands. Just cautiously talking with my hands. Here's a big secret. Occasionally displaying your hands, especially the palms of your hands, portrays honesty in most situations. Overdoing this, however, can come across as nervousness or trying to force an issue, so use it with caution.